I've built a couple of chicken tractors now, and for my money, they are probably the best way to raise maybe any type of chickens, but certainly meat chickens. If you've got pasture space or any kind of grass that needs to be rejuvenated, you just move those tractors along and those birds just dump a whole lot of fertilizer in a very concentrated area, and they do great. Now right now we've got 38 meat chickens in the brooder. They're ready to go out on pasture, and so I've got to build a couple more chicken tractors so that we can get them out of where they are and into where they need to be. Now I spent the better part of yesterday just cutting boards and really just trying to get everything ready and prepped for today, so hopefully all I had to do was just slap everything together and minimize the amount of headaches that I was dealing with today. You know, yesterday we had a fairly sizable hiccup in this project. That happens. You know, when you design your own things, things happen. I'll explain all that in a minute. It's not that big of a deal today. It kind of was yesterday. Oh well. This video is part of an 8-week series that we are doing on Cornish cross meat chickens. Cornish cross chickens take 8 weeks from hatch until butcher day, and so we're talking about different things that we're doing to care for the birds or prepare for that ultimate big day whenever they go from animal to freezer. That's why we're raising them. We're raising them for food, and we want to share different things that are going on in our experiences with you if you've never done this or if you're fairly new to it. These things you might find helpful, and I hope you do. I've been calling this chicken tractor that I've been building, this style, a Conestoga. If you think of a Conestoga wagon that the pioneers would have used to get across the plains in the 1800s, it's kind of like that, except it's made with a cattle panel and a chicken tractor, you know, bend the thing over. And we're going to cover that cattle panel with chicken wire. We're going to have hardware cloth at the bottom and chicken wire over the top, and then we're going to use a couple of tarps for rain protection and a little bit of shade as well. I wish I could have got white tarps, because then we would have perfected that Conestoga look, but I couldn't find them, and this is what the cheapest place in town had for sale, so that's what I'm using. I like to leave a 3/4 inch gap down here at the bottom, that way I don't have any untreated wood that gets in contact with any moisture from the ground. We did all this fancy build montage, only to realize I had the door on backwards, or that, or we had the front panel on backwards. I'm not really sure, but the easiest solution is to fix it, and now the door will open. Yeah. So one thing that I've learned after building a couple of these, some people, and we did it too, will run a single bolt, like a carriage bolt, through one side of the tractor and have the wheel on the other side, either inside or out, either way. What I've found is that when you do that, it puts a lot of pressure on this wheel, and it ends up cockeyed one way or another depending on where the pressure's coming from. What I'm doing this time is using two wheels, one on the inside and the out, and when you do that, you have to make sure you put the hole in the correct location. But that way, the tractor is equally supported by the wheels, inside and out. And make sure your valve stem is on the outside so you can put air in it when you need to put air in it. Not if, when. Is it right? Yeah? Okay. The double nut here keeps it from backing off. It turns out this whole project has been fraught with peril. Maybe peril is not the right word, or maybe it is, I don't know. I started off, I had this brilliant idea. I was going to use lap joints to assemble this whole thing together, and it was going to look so nice. And I built a jig to use my router for it, and it was going to be great. And then it didn't work out. I realized it was going to take way too long to do this, and yeah, so we're doing it the old-fashioned way. Though I say old-fashioned, it's the way we did it before on the first chicken tank that we built. I didn't consult previous notes, previous video that I did, just kind of winged it. And the trick with winging it is something always is not quite right. And so we had to add the extra wheel back here, or the extra hole for the wheel that I didn't account for in my previous design because the wheels were on the outside and it didn't matter. The distance between the two uprights, the door and the back frame that we're going to hang waters from, the cattle panel and the tarp, all that stuff's going to rest on that. It's not the right dimension, so we're going to have to figure that out. What else did I mess up on? Oh, I just kind of forgot how this stuff plugs all together. The thing is you can't be afraid if something isn't going quite right in the middle of your project. Just cut and run. Like, change your plan. Don't get too married to it, and don't get hung up and thinking this is all gonna completely fail, because sure, I mean, it might not work out great, but the only way you're really gonna fail is if you quit. So whether it's homesteading, whether you're building something, whether it is anything in life, if something's messing up, something's not going right, figure out a way to make it work. It'll be all right. Just, you know, keep at it. Don't quit. In the past, for these handles, we've used rope. This time, we opted to use cable. This is 1/8 inch vinyl coated cabling. I've got some leftover PEX piping from a plumbing project here in the house. The rope always falls apart. It rots away, at least the stuff that I've been using, the cheapest stuff, and I'm not super happy with it. So I'm hoping this holds up, the weight rating's good, and that is going to be super comfortable for picking this stuff up and carrying it around. Yeet. We've been plugging away at this for the last couple of hours and just about have it whipped. There's a few places that aren't quite perfect, but before the sun goes down, we've got to get these birds out of the brooder and into the tractor. Before we do that, each week we have been weighing the birds, getting a 3-bird average so we can track their growth and just see how fast they grow each week, or from week to week to week. And I'm doing that now because that's where the scale is. So let's go to the barn, we'll do that, and then we'll get the birds out and onto the beautiful grass. 194. 184. I can't believe this one's smaller than the other one. 206. Well, 20 birds at 2 pounds a piece is 40 pounds, and then plus the kennel. So we're doing this like half, you know, because 19 is a lot better than 38. Some days on the homestead definitely go smoother than others, and to tell you the truth, this build, this whole plan that I had went completely off the rails. What I thought I had figured out, I had to detour from that, and then trying to just wing this one off of memory from kind of the other one that I built, the chicken tank, didn't go. Just some hiccups along the way. Could have, you know, just trying to get it done, and that's part of it. Sometimes even when things don't go like you want them to, like you would have liked for them to go, you've still got to get things done. These birds still have to have a place to sleep that's not in the brooder, and even though they're okay in there, the benefit of them being in the chicken tractor and fertilizing the ground as they go, we're not realizing that. So we're putting feed and stuff into them, and they're growing and they're doing like we want. It's just a lot of extra work, and we're not realizing the full benefit of having these birds here. So, I mean, the tractors, that's why we love these chicken tractors, because they get to go around, the birds just do their thing, they graze, they just pumping fertilizer down on the ground. And we're hoping that this tractor, and then the other one that I've got to build still, that you know, plan A, I guess, when that's done, we're going to be in good shape. So I'll show you how that one turns out. If you want to see it, I'll have it linked here at the end of this video. Whenever it's done. It's not done yet, obviously, but whenever it's done, I'll have it linked there. And I just appreciate you coming along with us. We have 4 more weeks, right? This is week 4. 4 more weeks of meat birds until Butcher Day. At the end of all this, I'm going to have a huge cost breakdown, full cost breakdown of raising these birds. So thank you so much. I've got to get them using this new water, fancy new water we made too. We'll see y'all soon.